This is the Fraser Laveay podcast. We are with everyone's favorite guest. He has returned to the show, Jackson Greaves. He's got an Instagram name change. He's traveled the world. We are talking Scotland, golf, the heartland of America, and many other things. This used to be just a travel podcast. Now it's a sports, travel, nonsense, comedy, lifestyle, culture, just everything podcast.
Everything.
And no one better to talk this with Jackson. I'm going to guide him through. I want to hear about a Scotland trip, his heartland of America trip, the flyover states, we call them. But a couple, yes, Jackson, I'm glad you noticed my new haircut. Thank you for that.
It's beautiful. I
Thank you.
didn't think you knew. Your headphones sit perfectly on top of it.
Yeah, I like the headphones. It helps out the accoutrements. Nice accoutrements. Real quick, I've got two precursor questions as Jackson cleans his microphone. Give me, so it's nice about you, Jackson. You've got a lot of multicultural friends, a ton, and then you also are like the prime America, like USA, conservative family, conservative lifestyle. Very USA.
I'm pretty moderate.
Moderate. But I feel like you also, you fly that flag. You are America, wouldn't you say as well?
I do love this country. Yeah. I support the troops.
So give me just a quick recap, 20 seconds of what you thought about the debate before we get to everything else. I would just love to know. Do you have anything? 30 seconds on the debate. Go.
I think Joe Biden answered all the questions. He did so good. I think Trump did really good. I think America's heading in the best direction it's ever headed. I think the world is excited for it. I think this whole that debate was just a drum roll for what comes next. Because November 5th, we're rolling the dice as a country. We're going to be rolling the dice, so we'll see how the dice land. And is it 30 seconds yet?
Yeah, no, that's good. Yeah. Very good. That was very like, what's his name? The guy who ran in the movie Forrest Gump, and that's all I've got to say about that.
That's all I gotta say about that. I think both candidates could have done better, but there was a clear winner, and I think we all know who that was without saying it. So I'm just gonna go about like that, and that's all I gotta say about
that. Second question, which will roll into Scotland. I think a lot of people follow you on social media. Me as well. I've had this question for some time.
Yeah.
And before I get to the question, you are a second, right? Like your name is like the second?
No.
The third?
No.
You're not anything.
I'm no surname. No, not surname. Suffix. Wait, is this? No, it's no third, second, fourth, or anything like that.
Well, I'm glad you said surname because I think a lot of us are wondering if you're like a descendant of royalty after seeing the Scotland trip.
No, Greaves is mainly German, but my family descended from Texas, I guess, before it was even a state. So we've been here for a very long time.
So then how were you in this first class experience for your Scotland trip? You went golfing, I think, where the British Open is golfed at, correct?
Yeah. My nephew is literally one of the best golfers in the world, under 9 years old. And he was competing in the European Scottish Open thing for US Kids Golf, which is, like the leading junior world championship, organization that heads junior golf. And he's number 4th in the world, number 2 in the United States. And he played some phenomenal golf, but as an uncle, it comes with a lot of benefits. So I've been traveling around watching him play a phenomenal golf and then getting to play in a 10-day period and 198 holes. So that was pretty fun.
Who would beat you, your nephew or you? Who's better?
My nephew.
Really?
My nephew would cream me.
He's 8 years old?
Yeah.
Wow.
He's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Phenomenal golfer. Some say the best. He's competing in Pinehurst and Worlds, literally first week in August. So be looking out for that.
I have an uncle who can be a bit of an asshole, who I love.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like even if I was 8 years old and I was like a phenom at a sport, if we went like head to head, he would really like mess around with me, and I think he would still try and come out on top. Would you do that? Like, would you just trip him here and there, call him, you're never going to be anything, that kind of stuff to win? Or
No, no. He usually does that to me. He gets in my head as an 8-year-old. He's got a lot of he's very well versed in the craft of jeering his opponents. A lot of. I mean, he does do occasionally your mama joke, but that is his grandmother, so that doesn't really it cancels out.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's very quick with the insults, and
Yeah.
they get in your head, get
Yeah.
in there
I do like that.
and
The
do
mother
well.
joke doesn't work.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
Where did you
He's got
golf?
to get creative.
Where did you fly into? Where did you stay? I saw a boku of food
Yeah,
that
so
looked
there's
incredible.
only 3 options to get to Scotland directly from the United States, and those are out of Chicago, DC, and New York. And we went the DC route. It was about a 6.5 hour flight. It was awesome, really
Mhm.
nice flight. Of course, it went by very fast. I think it was United. Yeah, it did a fantastic job. They
Yeah, you rated
they
their
had
food, and it seemed like you rated one of their food
for
options
airline
quite
food.
nice. Yeah.
Of airline food, we had 3 courses. Um, I would say dinner was a little light, a little cheese, little crackers, nothing special. But boy, did they come in hot for breakfast. And I was really happy with their accoutrements and assortments.
Mm.
A lot of it welcomed you to Scotland. It gave you the pure English breakfast, the sausage, the beans, the spinach. Honestly, I didn't see much spinach in Scotland, but it had all the basics to kind of get me in the mood, which I really liked, and then finished off with some chicken parmesan for lunch, which was kind of
Hmm.
nice. I really enjoyed that, and then we landed in Edinburgh, and that was phenomenal. I love that city. The customs is really nice and fast. I will say, bring a I would say maybe actually it's pretty cold. It's colder than U.S. customs. U.S. customs, I felt like I needed a fan, but bring a jacket, while you're waiting through customs in Scotland. And I would. It went by pretty fast. Went by pretty fast, in and out of customs within an hour, and we were out on our merry way. We traveled first to Glen Eagles, which was really nice, a little farther north, and we played the King's course, the Queen's course, and then the PGA Century course. And during the time of right before June, and there's this thing called grouse that it's yellow, and it for 2 weeks out of the year in Scotland, it just covers everything, and it's so beautiful. So I would really recommend, if people are looking for a time to go visit Scotland, do it May 22nd through June 2nd. I highly recommend that.
Hmm. And
Really
it's
pretty. And then,
grouse, like the animal,
yeah.
but it's like some sort of vegetation.
Can I share my screen? I don't know. You might. I don't know if you can pull up grouse, but it's kind of yellow. Maybe I'm saying it wrong.
But it's like a
Gotta look it up.
vegetation, is what I'm asking. That's
Vegetation.
all.
Yeah, and I think
Yeah.
the pheasants love it.
No.
Everybody loves it. It's
Um,
thorny, very thorny. You
what
can't
what's
find
the
your golf balls in it.
what's the difference between the King's course, the Queen's course, and the PGA Centenary course? Is that what you called it?
Yeah, the King's course was a little farther, a little harder. The Queen's course was a little shorter, but I enjoyed it a lot because I thought it was beautiful. They're actually not proper courses, so you can take out your buggies. I think for a couple of them. I think maybe the PGA Century course you can take a buggy out on, but most of all Scottish golf courses you need a caddy for and are walking. So prepare to walk if you're going to go golf in Scotland. So make sure you got some comfortable shoes. Make sure they're waterproof, because every day you experience all 4 seasons within a matter of every 15 minutes. So it's you get wet. You get wet while
It's
you're
like
out there, Fraser.
it's like you lived playing the British Open, just the
I
hardest
did.
major in golf.
Well, we did go play Prestwick, which was where the first Open was. The first ever Open of golf was held at Prestwick, and that felt like you were golfing at a museum. I much preferred golfing at North Berwick, which is a very, very, very famous course along the lines of Murfield and stuff like that. But North Berwick, it's also on the coast, so it's like basically a beach town too, and it was ranked the best place to live in all the United Kingdom. And I would say that I haven't been to everywhere in the United Kingdom, but I would say it's one of the nicest places I've ever been to, and I would love to live there. Food was exceptional. A lot of fried fish. A
Yeah, what
lot
was
of
some of your favorite foods in Scotland?
the pies. Big pot meat pie guy. And
Yeah,
everything there is organic. Everything there doesn't have the GMOs in it. Everything tastes so much fresher. You realize how much poison is in American food. It really brings you down for a little bit. Yeah, American
yeah,
food's kind of
it's probably good
hurts.
for your.
I bloated right back up as soon as I got here. I was looking really good for the summer, and then I got Scotland. I lost weight, and I was eating like a pig. So I don't know how that happened, but it happened. It happened.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I feel the same when I travel. I think that's a good.
Yeah.
I think a few people on this podcast have mentioned how just being outside of the U.S. without the GMOs, just less.
Everything tastes better.
Less gut rot, less stomach, inflammation, and just bloating, gassy, all that kind of stuff. Whenever you leave
I
the
didn't
USA,
toot once on that trip. And I
that's terrific. Thanks
I
for
can't
sharing
believe
that.
it. Especially after all my gastro problems that I've been having.
I was going to
So
say you're undocumented by a Dr. Crohn's. That fared well.
I didn't. Well, I will say this: I don't think there's any Crohn's in Scotland. I don't know where the correlation is, but I didn't meet anybody who could relate to me with Crohn's there in Scotland. No one else knew my plight.
Really? You're just like some sort of
like Crohn's. What's that? Gluten. I haven't heard of her.
Yeah.
Like all these people, and like they live in gluten. They eat bread for every meal, and it doesn't affect them. Doesn't affect them at all.
You were like a pioneer.
Yeah, I brought out all my illnesses and sicknesses and things that I've been dealing with just because I'm American. Now I realize why they want to keep us out so bad.
This is full circle, me being like half Native American and you being a white man bringing diseases across the ocean.
We've been doing it for centuries.
Yeah, and it's almost, we just missed July 4th, which is kind of a celebration of maybe not that.
I would say Scotland's probably one of the whitest places in the world, in all fairness, but they stick to themselves. Very nice folk, very clean. I didn't see any trash anywhere or homelessness. It was quite nice. I don't know how. Yeah, quite nice and eye-opening. Quite eye-opening. I thought the entire UK system was on fire, but that's not the case. It's actually quite nice over there.
Yeah, I had a talk. My friend Mike was just going on and on about Europe and America's the greatest, and yeah, just like you said, it's just a lot of fake news. There's a bunch of pleasant countries outside of the United States out there in the world.
I did hear horror stories about London, but I stayed in Scotland. It was nice.
I feel like that's like Edinburgh. A thing, though, right? That's like a Scotland versus London, England type thing. They talk shit about each other.
Well, I will say Edinburgh is probably my favorite city I've ever been to, ever. Wow. And it's the cleanest by far.
Back to the foods. What's kind of like their normal foods that they eat, and what did you love?
Breakfast is kind of very odd there. Was not a fan of the haggis, which I'm not even going to discuss like what haggis is, but it's very popular.
People need to know what haggis is. This is a travel, food, and sports podcast. Lamb's guts, right?
Yeah, lamb's guts. It's like boudin for lamb's guts. If you've ever had Louisiana boudin.
I don't even know what boudin is. Can you tell us what boudin and haggis is?
You don't know what boudin is?
I guarantee
You've
you
never
not
heard?
one person I know outside you and Trey
Well,
knows what boudin is.
well, like basically, well,
I know
let's
what
get to haggis
poutine is.
first.
Is it
Well,
like poutine?
haggis, no, it's not.
Okay.
Haggis is basically like minced, like a hodgepodge of minced vegetables. They even put oatmeal in it, I think. They do a bunch of crap, and then stuff it with like it's stuffed inside lamb's guts, and they call it pudding, Pudding, but it's not. It's disgusting. It's like a baked black sausage, but it's filled with kind of a livery kind of taste. It's not for me. It's not for
Wow.
me. Boudin, though, it's really delicious. That's more of a hodgepodge of meats and rice and stuff stuffed into a sausage. I'm a big fan of that. And then you usually smoke it. It's
Okay.
fantastic. But
Huh.
it comes out of Louisiana and Mississippi. Mississippi's big on it too.
Wow, I would like to try this sometime.
Oh, you can. You
So,
can
but that's
definitely
nice.
try it.
The boudin in the South is like in
But
a
like,
sausage, and it's good stuff.
I'm,
Where the
but
haggis is like in a lamb stomach.
who started serving beans for breakfast? I don't know who that did that.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't
English
get it.
breakfast is disgusting.
I don't. I
I,
think it is. And I know
yeah,
it's in the big, but the sauce. Some of the other sausages were good. Their hash browns. It might have just been this place's hash browns, but it was
yeah. You know
quite
what? Oh, Jackson's got a phone call.
quite delicious.
I guess in Latin America they eat beans for breakfast as well, like rice and beans mixed together. I think
Why?
one.
Because
Oh,
they
I bet
have to.
beans for that's it. I think beans for breakfast is like a. This is what we had in Scotland and Latin America growing up.
But can you imagine how bad America would smell if that's like what we started every morning out with?
Imagine how bloated the beans in America are in general compared to the Scottish beans and the Latin American beans.
It would be hell on earth.
Yeah.
It would be.
So haggis, you don't suggest. What else was a
No.
big hit
Oh,
thing in Scotland?
well, the fish and chips. A lot of haddock. We in America we use cod and whitening fish, but in Scotland they use haddock, and I love it. Very delicious white fish, very flaky. Um, a lot of I didn't see as much lamb as I thought I'd see. I thought I'd see a lot of lamb, a lot of beef. Serve a lot of beef, a lot of seafood. Um,
That makes
Even
sense.
every place I'd served was a lot of lobster. Believe it or not, a lot of lobster around there.
Ooh.
Uh, the What else? What am I thinking? I saw a lot. Just the local, whatever's local, they serve a lot. Like
That
a
makes
lot, all
sense.
the produce comes from the farms on the thing, from the surrounding farms. Um, it's just when you visit Scotland, it's a great culinary experience because you literally get to taste what the locals eat. But my favorite part about the whole trip was the pies. They do a lot of meat pies. A lot of shepherd's pie was delicious. I was delighted with that. Their pastries are phenomenal. A lot of pastries, and that might just be Europe in general. I'm not sure, but I would say I'd had at least a croissant every morning and a
Oh,
Danish every morning. Oh, they were good. They were good.
yeah. Living in Costa Rica, I like never eat pastries at home in like
Oh,
the US or Canada. Oh, go ahead.
they eat so much candy.
Hmm.
Scotland does eat a lot of candy, but it's like good candy. They have like a sugar tax in Scotland. So companies, if they have their candy has a certain level of sugar, they get taxed extra. But the Scottish people really do have a sweet tooth. They
Hmm.
really do. Partially why their teeth are so messed up, I think. But
Yeah. I was wondering
yeah,
if that's a correlation.
you know,
That makes sense.
maybe I don't know.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think pastries, I never eat them at home, but like when I live other places, you're right. They're just kind of everywhere. They're so delicious, so fresh.
The Scottish beer was delicious.
Oh, yeah. What kind of beers or alcohols go on there?
A lot of lagers. A lot of lagers.
Oh, that's
I
nice,
would
right?
say
Because a lager is a nice lighter beer. Scotland, I would expect like the darker Guinnesses of the world type drinks, which not the case, you say?
I did have a lot of Guinness while I was there, but as we know, Guinness is Irish, so
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was kind of odd. A lot of dark kind of amber beers, but they were all really good. Tenant was really good. New Belfast, that was a really good beer.
I had my friend
I like the,
from London on the podcast, and he was saying how it's funny. Like England is obviously giant beer drinkers, but they don't have like their own beer per
yeah.
se.
I
Kind
think
of like
that's that. No one. Yeah, dude. Is there even a beer in England like they're proud
he,
of?
I don't know. He like because he drinks like Heineken or Guinness or Coors Light, Bud Light, that kind of thing. They don't really have a. I'm sure there is an England beer, but he has lived in London his whole life. He's English. He wasn't like, oh
Mm.
yeah, nothing came to mind.
Well, they we do everything better than them, except
Politics and presidents.
and grow produce without labels. There's a lot of things that
And
America we could improve.
education, maybe.
It's getting worse. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're bringing up great points, Fraser. I'm not
thanks.
saying you're not.
Would you say Biden or Trump would be better for this?
For Scotland, they
Yeah,
liked Trump in Scotland. They
really.
actually liked Trump a lot in Scotland.
Hmm.
They used to not like him. He was stealing all some people's land to build golf courses, but they ended up being really beautiful golf courses, so they forgave him.
Isn't that always the case?
Turnberry was my favorite place I did visit in Scotland and played
Oh.
golf at. Incredible food, incredible scenery, incredible history. Incredible history. Did some horseback riding there. I would highly recommend if you do Scotland, go to Edinburgh and then go see Turnberry over Gleneagles. If you had to pick the two resorts, hands down, would say go to Trump's Turnberry. So Turnberry Resort.
And can you give people some information, like if they want to see the British Open, where that's at, where to stay, or what city, that
I think
kind
that
of
one's
thing?
at Muirfield. Let me make sure. Make sure that's the case.
And you didn't golf there, correct?
I didn't golf at Muirfield. I golfed at North Berwick. So let me see here. They switch around where they
I was
are.
about to I was about to
But,
ask that. Is it like the U.S. Open and everywhere else? Like it switches.
mhm.
I know what.
Scottish Open.
Where's the British Open?
Let's see.
Royal Troon Golf Club.
I think they mix it up. Let's see.
Oh, that's where I was thinking. Did you play at St. Andrews?
I did. I played at the old course. No, not the old course. The castle course. That's where I played. The old course we did not get to play because it's closed on Sundays. It's open to the public, so the public can actually go walk the entire course, which I think is kind of interesting. St. Andrews was not my favorite course by any means. I think it was kind of, honestly, if out of the 10 courses I played, it was probably comes in probably number 8. It was just rainy. It just wasn't the best conditions. The town is kind of St. Andrews, like the town is kind of. I wasn't the biggest fan of the town. Just kind of.
That's the most famous, right?
Would you say? I would say a lot of people would say because it's the first golf. It's people say it's the first golf course ever. A lot of people say there's a lot of debate on where the first game of golf was actually held.
So it looks like from 1860 to 1870, the Open was only at Prestwick, which is where you golfed, right? And then
the place where the Scottish Open is getting held is the Renaissance Club in North Berwick, which we didn't get to play the Renaissance this year, but it's in North Berwick, which I can say is phenomenal. I would definitely go see it.
The British Open is what people care about, and you did St. Andrews, you did Prestwick. Did you Musselburgh?
I did not.
So that was the other. Those are the 3 rotations for the British Open. Sorry if I was saying Scottish Open earlier, fans. So initially, the 3 courses were Prestwick, St. Andrews, and Musselburgh. And then there's 9 courses in the current rotation. The old course is St. Andrews, which I think is the most well known, right?
Yeah, I think that it's honestly not the best. It's not the best.
Do you ever think it's like, I feel like that's a common theme with things where when you're the best, they don't really improve on it. They're just like, we're the best. We don't have to do it. We don't have to put any money. Like the Knicks almost. The Knicks didn't need to put any money into the Knicks. People are just coming to watch. Now they're doing all right. But you know what I mean? The Bulls.
The Cubs.
The Bulls and the Cubs, like they're like, we don't need to spend money. They're just
The
going to come
White
to us
Sox.
anyways. Mm. Why you're really hating on the
Apollo
Chicago
Uno.
teams? Yeah,
Apollo Uno.
yeah. What was that? There's
The
other places.
Jamaican, the U.S. bobsled team.
Yeah.
Just you don't really put too much money in it. People are going to watch.
Exactly.
Mhm.
So the other courses, the Old Course St. Andrews, Carnoustie Golf Course, Murfield.
Murfield's beautiful. I did get to have dinner out there. The dinner felt like I was eating in a nursing home, but it was delicious. It was pretty good food. Um, but the course is beautiful. I mean, like most of the links courses which is very interesting. Scotland, there aren't water hazards. What they are is on the oceans. So like the ocean is the hazard basically. So like
Ocean
to the rest of it,
hazards.
ocean hazard. I guess it's out of bounds, but what's very interesting is like water hazards and a lot of, I guess, obstacles in Americans courses are what make American courses. Like water hazards are very, pretty much the majority of water hazards are in America.
Really?
Yep. From what I understand. The Mannings. Fun fact: the Mannings, Peyton Manning, Eli Manning, and I think one of the younger one, Cooper. I think
Cooper.
They've been buying a bunch of golf courses in Scotland. I think they bought 13 different golf courses in Scotland. Pretty incredible. So America is we're coming over. We're doing what we do best and take things corporately. So we're gonna
Yeah. Was there any other foods that you suggest people have?
Go nuts on their sweets. Go nuts on their sweets. A lot of chocolate everywhere, which I love. A lot of tarts. I loved the raspberry tart I had at Hillside Tavern. That was a really good one. Big fan of that one.
Great. Before we maybe move on,
golf courses have really good food.
Yeah,
all the golf courses have really good food. They do.
I guess any other tips or quick things on Scotland before you move on?
A normal round of golf in Scotland is anywhere between like $200 to most we played for one round was $600.
Did your 8-year-old nephew pay for this, or is this something that came out of your?
He partially he got his piggy bank out. But I would say also a normal caddy tip is right around $100 to, I would say, $150. So be prepared to come tip. Yeah, be prepared to tip your caddies while you're there, and they do. No one really like the U.S. dollar is not a hit there, so everyone needs to exchange their currency, especially before they go out on the golf course. So that's a good tip to have.
I guess it makes sense to tip the caddy because it's not necessarily a tip; it's more like you're paying their wage and they're spending 5 hours with you.
They are, and they're carrying your clubs mostly through horrible weather.
Hilly, wet,
very hilly, very wet. I would say just the very thick rough. It's the greens are like glass there. They're like glass. So putting here in America does you no good. I would definitely, if I go over there, hit the range, hit the practice putting green at least an hour to 2 hours before your rounds in Scotland, because I wish I had. If you're a beginner, I would not recommend going to play in Scotland. I would, it's definitely a place for true golfers.
And you're a true golfer.
No, I am not. I'm not a true golfer. I have a 20 handicap, and as my caddies would say, I was out there to drink beer. So I had a great time doing that. And here's another thing: Scottish courses do not have halfway houses, so buy all your beer before you go out on the course, because there is no place to just stop and get a beer. There's not. So come locked and loaded to the course.
Okay. And I assume they don't have
pace of play.
I assume they don't have cart girls or anything either.
Nope, none of that.
Or boys.
Honestly, Well, most girls there look like potatoes, so like it's not like a big thing. Cart girls aren't really a big thing there.
Really? Or cart boys in California.
I mean,
You can
I do
be.
not discriminate. Anyone who has beers, but there's no one who's out there with beers. Trump's Turnberry course does have a halfway house. It is a lighthouse. It is incredible. Actually, the coolest halfway house I've ever been to. I would look it up. Fraser, it's really cool.
Are we sure they're called halfway houses? Isn't that like a term reserved for like rehab centers?
No, and golfers. I think that kind of goes hand in hand. A lot of golfers do end up in rehab.
Yeah.
Rehabs.
Huh. I've never heard that term before.
Yeah. I would love to know what term they usually are called.
Oh yeah, the 5 best halfway houses in golf. I've never heard of this term. So
Trump Turnberry should be up there.
because I think because whenever I golf, again, I'm not a massive golfer these days, not like I was a lot before, but you just came back to the clubhouse, between 9 and 10.
Yeah.
So at these courses, they don't have that. It's just
No, it's like you go all the way out and you go all the way back in and you finish at the clubhouse on 18.
Okay. So it's more like a lesser courses. You go past the clubhouse again, 9 and 10.
Yeah, well, like it's to keep pace of play. So usually if there's a halfway house, people take their time, 20 minutes. Things get clogged up. But no, at scholars courses they make you move, and the caddies keep you on pace of play. So
yeah,
you get to play a lot of golf pretty fast in Scotland.
I'm gonna give everyone the 5 best halfway houses in golf. From Links Magazine. You'll be Silo Ridge, just 90 minutes north of New York. It looks really cool. I won't describe it all, but check it out. Quivira in Cabo, Mexico, a Jack Nicklaus design course.
My sister's going there.
So it looks, and then are you ready? Trump Turnberry in Scotland.
Yep, the lighthouse. It's absolutely incredible. And you can actually stay there. You can literally sleep at the lighthouse for, I think, $1,050 a night.
The iconic lighthouse at Turnberry has been one of the most photographed objects in golf. Long before Trump even bought the property, to be fair, it says.
Yeah, it's 100. I mean, like, Robert, the first king of Scotland, was born there. And they still have the castle ruins on the course, which is really cool.
With unrestricted views of Alisa and Aran, the terrace, an idyllic pit stop for beer, a plowman sandwich, beef and haggis pie, or sticky toffee pudding.
I will say this, their beef and haggis pie was pretty delicious. And I didn't even like haggis.
What's a plowman sandwich?
I don't know. I think it's more like a panini. Like they had some paninis in there that were unreal. Really good. I played that course 3 times.
Do you think Biden has a cool course like this in Halfway House?
I think they have, and I pray for the man, Fraser. I pray for that man. I think it's to take him out on a golf course in his current condition would be elder abuse. I don't think he can. I think he should tame the haters down and actually go out there and play 9 holes. I think Biden, to calm everyone's nerves, should go play 9 holes.
Against Trump or just by himself?
By himself.
Okay.
By himself. No cat. He can be in a golf cart. And I would like to see if he's got it in him to finish 9 holes. If he could finish 9 holes.
He couldn't really finish.
That would make me feel better. That would make me feel better.
He couldn't really finish a sentence, so I don't know if he could finish 9 holes.
But, I'll see.
Yeah. Kohanaki in Hawaii is the other one, and Whistling Rock in South Korea. 5 best
South Korea?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah.
South Korea, what? Ooh.
90 minutes north of Seoul.
So towards North Korea.
I guess if it's north of Seoul, it'd be north towards, anything north would be towards North Korea. I'm not a geologist.
Power deduction, yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty incredible. That would be quite interesting golfing, and then there's balloons of poop and manure flying over your heads from
Yeah.
North Korea. I would be pretty scared playing on that golf course.
Yeah. Wasn't Stonehenge defaced when you were in Scotland? What was the fallout from that?
I don't know. I didn't hear much about it. They didn't. No one seemed too upset. I don't think many people really visit it. I think ever since Göbekli Tepe took all the thunder away from Stonehenge, I think Stonehenge has been not on everyone's minds lately.
What is Göbekli Tepe?
It's the oldest known archaeological site in the world.
What?
It totally took Stonehenge and then like said, "Hold my beer," and then Göbekli Tepe is like 11,000 years old. Stonehenge is only 5,000 years old.
It's in Turkey.
Yep, right near like to the right of Cappadocia. It's southern Turkey. There's like 3 different archaeological sites in southern Turkey that I'm dying to go to. Dying. And there's a lot of conspiracy about it too. So Göbekli Tepe, the government, I guess, or some organizations bought up the land around it and started building all these orchards. And the orchards, as people know, are the roots are very destructive. And they're saying that these people who are buying the land around Göbekli Tepe are trying to destroy history. So we will, and they say that it might be orchestrated by the
West WEPT I don't know who's doing it. The West, Biden, Trump, Jackson. I don't have time for charades. Why can't you just say it? Why is it on a paper? I can't even. WEF. WEF. I don't know what that is.
You need to give it a Google. Just type it in.
The World Economic Forum? Oh.
That's how that's how this podcast gets taken down pretty fast. You start mention those syllables, things start moving.
I've never even heard of this place. I guess we don't talk about it. It's like Fight Club.
You need to do your research. Give it 20 minutes of just a quick Google search.
All right. Coming back to America, did you have any other final points on Scotland?
A lot of falconry there. I would recommend horseback riding and going to do the falconry while you're there. Falconry is a huge part of Scottish history.
What's falconry?
That was really cool to watch. It's where you have basically the relationship I have with Colonel, my dog, people have with falcons there. And you basically can hunt with falcons. You can send messages. You can do a lot of stuff with really cool stuff with falcons. They do a lot with falcons. They hunt with falcons. They play with falcons. They love falcons. Falcons are big. And horseback riding. A lot of trail riding in Scotland. So that was really cool.
That's brilliant. Yeah. All right. Well.
And the Indian food. They say the best food in Scotland is actually the Indian food. I had a little bit of it. It was fantastic, but I didn't have enough of it. I had it for one meal. I wish I had it for more meals. So
people in the UK love Indian food. It's like a thing.
I love Indian food. I wish there was more Indian food here in Dallas. There's not.
I really thought Dallas would be a huge India hub with all their.
We have some Indian food. We do, and some of it is good. But I would love one on my corner.
Yeah.
So
I think I'm going to be in Fort Worth for an event, early April. So I'll tell you, for a 6v6 national championship.
That's so exciting.
I know. Do you
for
have
many
any
different reasons?
I know. Scotland, I think you summed it up, right? You've got it all. Is there any like a highlight from your summer or spring so far you want to touch on, like a place you've been before we recap? I think we did a ton of great Scotland recap. We can always cut back.
I will say if I had to rank all the places I've traveled in the world, Scotland would be my favorite, which is very shocking to me. And I've been to Costa Rica. I love Costa Rica to death. I just thought Scotland Scotland blew my mind in so many different ways, and I thought the beauty was there, the cleanliness was there. I will say there's just the one downside to Scotland: no air conditioning. Be prepared to bring your own fan. BYOF, bring your own fan in Scotland. But that's the only downside. Everything else, I highly, highly recommend visiting Scotland.
Great. All right. Well, I think we can save America for later because we hit 40 minutes on this with some great content. We'll have to circle with Jackie back on his thoughts on the heartland of America at some other time.
I love America.
Yeah.
Love it.
Well, this is the Fraser Laveay podcast with everyone's favorite guest, Jackson. We'll try and get him on again next week or the week after. Needs to be more of a thing. Do you have any sports takes? Like just betting the NFL?
Go Tennessee Vols.
All right, we're just going to end this. We don't need the Tennessee Vols.
We won a national championship. It was fantastic. I don't know if you saw it. We're coming back next year. Win it again.
In
Tennessee
baseball?
Football. Yeah.
You're bragging about college baseball. I've heard it all. Well, let me
tag
like
no one ever wins college baseball.
Texas
kind of really
Tech,
hard thing to win.
Texas Tech indoor track and field, 4-H club, the meat making. What's the meat making? We won that. It's like a meat, not meat making, but we won like a meat award.
When was that?
A couple of years ago. We win it all the time.
I'm talking this year, Tennessee national champions baseball. And we beat Texas Tech multiple times this year too in baseball. It was great.
Meat science, meat judging. That's what it is. Meat judging. We had a three-peat of meat judging.
So you judge meat.
Yeah. Not we. All of the NCAA does, and we kick everyone's ass.
Don't doubt it.
Yeah.
You keep doing that.
Thanks,
I hear
man.
you guys might win this year. You haven't won in, when was it, 2020, 2019?
One of the best golfers in the world, Aber, Texas Tech.
Haven't heard of him.
He came second in the Masters. And then he just came second in something else.
That explains it. Second place. I rarely remember people who finish second. Probably why.
Ludwig Aber. All right. Well, thanks for coming on, Jackie. We've got a new website coming soon. Yeah. I'll tease. I won't talk about it yet. And cool. Have a great day, Jackson.
Love you, buddy.
Fraser Laveay podcast.
See ya.
Don't turn it on.